And welcome back to Good Morning Four States. With us this morning, Jim Herman and Tony Neal here to talk about the salmon. Of course, we had Suzanne Nelson on from Suzanne's Natural Foods a little bit earlier in the show. But this is really an interesting venture. And Tony, talk a little bit about the business and how this actually all came about, because this is amazing.
Yeah, well, it's a big story. Here we are in Joplin. Never been here before. For our crew, we always catch these fish and we put them in the tote and send them away. And here I am visiting my own fish. They're right here. And I can't believe I might have caught this fish in Alaska a few months ago. And now it's down here in Joplin. And Jim Herman, his daughter Julie, sell our fish, part of our family. So we're like from the start to the finish.
And that's what's amazing about that. Jim, what made you decide to bring this to Joplin? Of course, you live here in town, but talk a little bit about, I guess, getting it out into the market and getting this on people's plates for people to enjoy.
Well, Tony and I and my son Chris had talked about bringing it to the 4 states area and down into the lower 48. They sell their fish wholesale up in Alaska, and they don't know where it goes. So we wanted to be able to bring it down here and give the health benefits to the people in the 4 states area, and that brought us here. So now Tony knows where his fish ends up.
And of course, in Alan's belly, if he could manage that too. Talk about the process of this, because a lot of people don't really know how fishing works, but you guys try to make this as fresh as possible and without having it break down and everything else.
Well, that's right. Suzanne talked about the food content of salmon, so of course we just know that. That's what we know, but we spend a lot of time trying to make it just perfect, as though you caught it with your rod and reel, brought it in, cleaned it, and put it on the stove and cooked it. That's what we want to deliver down here, and that's what we have. So our goal is to get them processed as quickly as possible after they're caught, which is fairly involved up there.
And I'm sure you've got a lot of people, as soon as those boats come in, it's kind of, or is it taking place on the boat?
No, we don't even fish on a boat.
We
fish from shore, and we use Honda four-wheelers to bring in our fish.
Oh, that's neat.
The crew, I can yell at them. I'm the captain, but they're my grandkids and my daughter and my wife, and so I have
this is truly a family affair.
Authority. Yes, it is. It's truly family
well,
affair.
When you have all the women involved, yeah, your authority is kind of limited, right? Well, talk about the difference of the types of salmon, because you're seeing things like the coho salmon and then the sockeye salmon. What is the difference? I just thought salmon was salmon.
Oh.
I know. Blasphemy, I know.
Well, there's 5 species of Pacific salmon. And we catch all 5 where we fish, but we process only 2. We process sockeye salmon, which is by far the most common, and we catch coho, silver salmon. Late in the season, there's less. So we concentrate on both. We smoke all the coho. That's one of these is a coho. Probably can't tell the difference, but
well, there's seasoning. I mean, I can tell a little bit of a difference.
Well, there's a little seasoning, you know, but we smoke it in what we call native style. We don't add really anything bad. I can tell you that.
Right.
No sodium nitrite. No bad stuff, and just really pepper and a little bit of salt.
That's all pretty much you need for something like that. And any tips for people out there who go to Suzanne's and decide, hey, we're going to buy this? Any tips for cooking it?
I would put it in the oven and bake it with some spices on it. Don't deep fry it. You lose all the oils and the nutrients in it. It's a fish that's baked or barbecued. Barbecue season's coming up, so we have the portions and the holes that would go good on the barbecue. You don't need to eat a huge piece of salmon. It's very rich fish. And you know, like I say, the health benefits are incredible.
And how often do you get the shipments in?
We have salmon here in Joplin that we keep in our freezers. Our main amount of salmon is up in Iowa.
Okay.
So it comes from Alaska to Iowa, deep freeze, and then we transport it here and put it on the shelf. So
all right, so of course you can find this at Suzanne's Natural Foods, and you guys are actually going to be there from 11 to 1 today, right?
We wanted to tell you that people want to fire questions. How do you cook salmon? How do you catch salmon? We'll be there from 11 to 1 at Suzanne's.
So you can get a science lesson and a cooking lesson too.
Yep.
I've already been schooled this morning, so I didn't know that there were 5 types. So anyway, of course, you can find everything that we've talked about today over at Suzanne's Natural Foods, and stop by from 11 to 1 and talk to the gentleman about the salmon. We've got more coming up on Good Morning Four States. This week's movie reviews on the way next.